Hello everyone, today in this video we'll fight against the atmosphere of our world around us, and this time we will talk about the case what happens when one loses the war. The very recent case, what happens when one loses the war, we see in the Gaza Strip. Of course, emotional reactions, that civilians are massacred or replaced by force and so on and so on. I understand. But now this video will be emotionless cold analysis through history. What happens when one loses the war? So, we remember when Poland, Second Polish Republic, in September 1939 lost the war to National Socialistic Germany and Soviet Union. What happened next? From many regions like Greater Poland region, many Poles were, or Pomerania, Gdańsk region, many Poles were expelled from their houses, and these houses were later taken and occupied by Germans. Russians took representatives of Polish people, mainly military authorities and intelligentsia, and just took them to Siberia or to other prisoners' camps, and even in early spring 1940 executed Polish officers in Katyn, Miednoje, and a few other places. What Japanese were doing to Chinese civilians when they were winning the war since 1931, First War, and later 1937 onwards, what were they doing to Chinese civilians? Massacring them or also expelling them from the better houses, and it was occupied by Japanese officials. When Germany and Japan were losing the war, either these Germans or Japans who were living on these occupied territories and using the property of their victims, either they escaped or were killed, or simply later they were expelled from these territories, even massively, like Germans. So we see when you loses the war, you need to face the consequences, and there is no exception. Even history teaches us that sometimes lost war costs you huge part of your population. The same was massacre with Jungars in the 1850s when they lost to the military forces of Qing dynasty about 70-80% of Jungar population, descendants of Churchens, was massacred, eliminated from this world because they lost the war to their opponents. So I know that we have human thinking, we have conscience and so on, but unfortunately laws of the war are cruel. If you lose the war, then you have to face horrible consequences to your population. That is why one of the fathers of the strategy, Karl von Clausewitz, in his famous, a little bit unfinished work on wars vom Kriege in German original, was always reminding to his readers, never start the war, you cannot win. That's it. And this is first principle, because when you lose it, you will have to face horrible consequences. And it's never any different. All the best. Have a nice day.